पुष्कवाहन मोदकहस्ता चामरकर्ण विलम्बितसूत्रा वामनरूप महेश्वर पुत्रा विघ्नविनाशक पाद नमस्ते पाद नमस्ते। तां तत्तरि तकतों तत्तरि तह ततकतरि किट तकतां तां तदतरि तकतों तत्तरि तह ततकतरि किट तकतां तां तदतरि तकतों तत्तरि तह ततकतरि किट तकतां तां तदतरि तकतों तत्तरि तह ततकतरि किट तकतां तां दीं तकजे किटनं तरि दीं दीं दित्तदीनु दृगतकदां दीं तकजे किटनं तरि दीं दीं दित्तदीनु दृगतकतां तदत्तरि तकतों तत्तरि तह ततकतरि किट तकतां तह ततकतरि किट तकतां। Din dit tanger de din 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 tanger 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 dum satchum tanger dum satchum tanger dum tajum tagajam gadagadajanudam tagajanudam tatajam tatajam tajjanudam tagajanudam tajam tagajam gadagadajanudam tagajanudam tatajam tatajam tajjanudam tagajanudam tajam tagajam gadagadajanudam tagajanudam tatajam tatajam tajjanudam tagajanudam tajam tagajam gadagadajanudam tagajanudam tatajam tatajam tajjanudam tagajanudam tam tajam tarigidagadim tajam tarigidagatom tajam tarigidagaram tajam tarigidagatam tajam tarigidagadim tajam tarigidagatom tajam tarigidaganam tajam tarigidagatam tarigidadim tarigidatom tarigidanam tarigidadam tarigidadim tarigidatom tarigidanam tarigidadajam tagajam kidadagajanudam tagajanudam tatajam tatajam tajjanudam tagajanudam। ನೀರೆಯ ಕೊರಳಿಗೆ ಶೋಭೆಯೇ ಅಪರಿಮಿತ ಸೌಂದರ್ಯ ಈಸರ ನೀರೆಯ ಕೊರಳಿಗೆ ಶೋಭೆಯೇ ಅಪರಿಮಿತ ಸೌಂದರ್ಯ ಈಸರ ಮೃದುಲತೆಯಂದದ ತೋಳ್ಗಳ ಅಲಂಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಳೆ ಮೃದುಲತೆಯಂದದ ತೋಳ್ಗಳ ಅಲಂಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಳೆ ಸರ್ಪದೋಲು ನಲಿಯುವ ಕೇಶರಾಶಿಗೆ ಜಡೆಯೇ ಭೂಷಣ ನಕ್ಷತ್ರ ಗ್ರಹಗಳು ಚಂದ್ರ ಸೂರ್ಯರು ಸಮಸ್ತ ವಿಶ್ವವೇ ಅಡಗಿದೆ ಈ ಕೇಶ ಸಾಗರದಿ ಋಷಿಕೇಶ ಸಾಗರದಿ ಬಳ್ಳಿಯೊಲು ಬಳುಕುವ ರತಿಯಂದದ ಸೊಂಟಕ್ಕೆ ಒಡ್ಯಾಣವೇ ಚಂದ. ಬಳ್ಳಿಯೊಳು ಬಳುಕುವ ರತಿಯಂದದ ಸೊಂಟಕ್ಕೆ ಒಡ್ಯಾಣವೇ ಚಂದ. ಕದಳಿಗಂಬದ ಕೊನೆಯ ಮೃದು ಪದಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಪ್ಪುವ ನೂಪುರ. ಕದಳಿಗಂಬದ ಕೊನೆಯ ಮೃದು ಪದಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಪ್ಪುವ ನೂಪುರ. గమ పని పా నీ నీ నిజ నిప గమ పని సా పప్ప ని నిప గమ పని పా నీ నీ నిజ నిప గమ పని సా స సగ స ని స నిజ గ నీ నిజ నిప మ పని సా స సగ స ని స నిజ గ నీ నిజ నిప మ పని సా సగ మ మగ స ని స గ పని స స ని ప మ పని స సగ మ మగ స ని స గ గ స ని పని స స ని ప గ మ పని స స స గ స ని స గ స మ గ స మ గ స ని ప స గ స గ స ని ప ని స ని ప ని మ పని స.
Namaskara. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to this 101 on puppetry with the experience as teacher. I have for you today a window into the art form of puppetry. When I started in the field, I was faced with a situation where there was a big divide. Question asked, are you a traditionalist? Are you a contemporary player? I'm like, I'm modern Indian puppeteer. I don't know. For me, everything is contemporary because tradition has its place, and yet we are in reality contemporary players. We will look into the historical perspective a little bit about what happens. The system said puppetry is folk art, and on one side they said, traditionalists said, you don't need a stage, you don't need to do light design. And the contemporary artist said, oh, you do mythology. Why? Well, it was confusing for me too. I just loved what I read. I could ideate, I could belong because it's from my nation. And it has many, many tools of wisdom, tools of life, which when used with the right perspective and rationalized is very useful. I said, oh, thank you. Now what do I do? Where do I belong? Who am I? I just broke out of the box. I said first, stop labeling art. Art is what it is. Art comes from the artist. Okay, for administration we need labeling. And then I said, let's train, let's reason it out, filter out whatever is nonsense, because there's a lot which comes from behind us when in the name of antiquity, in the name of museumizing it, in the name of old, everything old is not correct and good. And then we need to transform into the present era, and when we're used to sophisticated media, we need to work on that. Well, historically, what did I find? In the Mahabharata and in the Bhagavata, it says, Yatha darumayi yoshni nrityate kuhakechaya, evam ishvara nritya mihate sukha dukhayoho. This is a very interesting situation. Two negative characters. The red one, puppet of Karnataka, who is Jarasandha, and the one in brown is Shishupala. Jarasandha is a negative character, but a very good friend. And then he tells Shishupala, who's crestfallen because Rukmini has eloped with Krishna. And he says, I'm going to commit suicide now, I'm not going to live. And then he says, why, my dear friend? Don't you know? Have you not seen the entertainer with the wooden dolls who pulls the strings? He says, our strings are held by the Lord, and life is a cycle. What goes up will come down, and he assures him, saying, I shall get you a more beautiful bride. So this tells us, you can see there, it is in Bhagavata 10th Skanda and 55th Adhyaya chapter and the 12th shloka, that puppetry was established, quite many years ago. Approximate date of this epic is about minimum 3,000 years, but they say 5. Next. So now let us look at who are these characters. Okay, we have these characters from the Mahabharata. And where were they in India at that period of time, if we take it as a historical epic? So this is India at that time. And we have Vidarbha, where all the beautiful maidens and the intellects of the nation, brave, well-learned, and good-looking inside out. And then Chedi king, we have Shishupala, Magadha, Patna king, Jarasandha. And where did I find these puppets? I found them in the museum in Mysore. And how did I find them? This is how it is. 1912, they made these. Plague affected the nation and the state, and they were all boxed and put away. And even when I found them, they were in a heap in the Mysore Folklore Museum. And then I said, why are we not doing it? We have everything else in this world. And that led me to make these Bhagavata Shaili Pandava puppets. Now, this in India, research would be, for any performing art, a living tradition, the text. And what is the text? How do we know? How have we grown? What is the science of the arts? This is one nation where there is movement theory, where we have science of the arts. Science translates to Sanskrit word Shastra. That's all. Next. So this is one. Then we have Kathasarit of Somadeva. He's a Kashmiri poet of 1st century, whose work, Kathasarit there is Somaprabha, a maiden who goes aerially and has mechanical puppets. We find them today in Japanese karakuri ningyos. Whatever is described in Kathasarit is found in Japan today. It's still available. But remnants of what I found in Karnataka were these puppets, which are crankshaft puppets. They just go up and down. They're jumping jacks, they're called in Europe. And these are very beautiful. They perform and act. They are like entertainment in the middle of a story. And then there is, of course, as I said, the influence of Natya Shastra, the science of arts, on which all of these performances have been built. So here, basically, we have movement, Angika, speech, music, Vachika, Aharya, which is the costuming, and then Satvika. Satvika is that which raises you. You go, aha, for a second, you go into this timeless zone. All the elements which make you appreciate something, anything, nature, paint, color, dress, food, anything, would give you that experience. So we have also in puppetry of India, we have references to the Natya Shastra, Sutradhara and Nati. They are very useful. They link scenes. You know when something is starting and ending. Next. And then we also have symbolism. See, symbolism is made for efficient, like you see symbols for stop the car, don't park, and all of that. Here we have hastas, which are used all over in all our performing arts. We use it. Puppetry too has had all of these hastas since times immemorial. You don't need to think on what is this. See, when the puppet came, you knew it was a dancer or somebody famous. So we don't waste time explaining a character. Symbolism becomes useful in stylized performances. And of course, this costuming. Looking at the costume, you'll know where they're from. This is how they're made in puppets, by the way. We make them. We make the jewelry crafted from wood. Wood carving is required. Then it ends up. And they're done for a purpose, because we are a population of many people. So when the light falls on the pieces of jewelry, it sparkles. So the movement without an LCD screen is transmitted to long distances. We've tried it out for around 3,000 people and they have seen and enjoyed the performances. So these are designed. how did I get into this? How do I make these puppets? Well, initially I started, trained in Czech Republic, and said, well, they have excellent precision. See, precision gives you movements, and there's a lot of engineering and skill required in doing it, crafting skill. The engineering sense has to translate into a craftsmanship, and it gives you precision. Started out with a board with a given design for the puppet. And then there is, today we use all the modern tools available, all the electronic machines are there with us. But initially I just started with a piece of chisel, sharpened it on my own, I learned it that way, would stretch my legs out, put the wood piece between my toes, and I have carved. But now this is how I do it, you know. And then how does the process begin? This is a real process taken. It starts from a block of wood. Wood knowledge was also lost when I started out. I tried to compile and get, local wood is very useful, Shalmali Vriksha, Buruga, it is Bombax cotton. But this was the wrong wood I chose, this was deal wood, but learn from your mistakes. In India, we have a special finish where we use tamarind paste and wood powder and gives it strength. And then the painting, of course, and then jewelry, you already saw that. Painting process. Puppetry also involves making the scenes, the backdrops. Unfortunately, today cannot delegate the job because the passion in society has dwindled, and we delegate a job, it never happens. So one needs to learn sartorial skills, one needs to learn painting skills, and all of this goes into making the show. So this is proscenium designs. See here again, concepts of engineering space, visualizing space, and then line of sight, and making things come together, and stitchless. So you start a show, it ends. So this is something I've done. We've had some 6 generations of scenes of theater prosceniums, and I don't want to give up on the proscenium like most of the world has done, because there is magic in it. And this magic transmits into the audience, and when the audience get goosebumps, we do too. So it's worth investing in this. So I have spent a lot of time designing prosceniums and making the puppets light and doing an ergonomic design of play, and also keeping content which is useful to society and to self. This is a typical scenario on how we worked with lights and stage. We have show now coming up which has about 100 puppets. So when there is a design, when there is a system, you can do anything. Once I was asked by Bombay IIT, please do something in Bhaskaracharya's Leelavati, which is arithmetic, through puppetry for our conference. I said, there is no rasa. How can I do puppetry when there is no rasa? You know, I'll be cheating. I just superimpose something on the other. And that's not the way to do things. But then I spent time with this poetry. Here, I will pause. See, when you have the passion and when you are honest, I say, take it, yes or no. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. But the perseverance, even that is enjoyable. A failure is also enjoyable. Maybe disappointed a little, yes, but it questions you again, saying, where did I go wrong? What went wrong? How can I get better? And you better yourself. This is the ultimate thing in life. So much so, there is no strain, and there is no stress, and there is no fear. And I'm working and working in joy and ecstasy, and that's what keeps me going. And here I realized mathematician Bhaskaracharya has gone through the same process. And it's like cracking a code. You understand poetry, you understand a scene, you need to spend unprejudiced time with it. This is something I have learned. You have to pause, you have to not be prejudiced, look at it as if you're looking at it for the first time. And then, of course, there's no shortcut to efforts. And the end of this is a scene where he says there are 8 doors and the wind can go in and out. It's a permutation problem. How many ways can wind travel through the different arches of the big hall? So one side we had mathematics happening. Of course, epics we have done again. And then we also got this bridge between fine arts. where K.K. Hebbar's Silapadikaram line drawings were given, and they said, NGMA Bangalore said, do something. And I have a similar experience with that. I'm not formally trained in the fine arts, but then it's the same process. See, at some point, we come together. And this is true. Engineering, design, art, music, puppetry, everything comes together. And to reach that point is happiness. Of course, one more such great poet of India is Kalidasa. We had done a lot of literature, mathematics, morals, wisdom, lifestyle, life learnings, and then now comedy is the toughest. It was time for a romantic comedy, and this has gone worldwide. Language is not a barrier at all. In today's digital world, that has not, we've been doing, you give us the language, we'll do French, Russian, and Moroccan, and then many languages of India, and this has been the joy, you can see, swinging, and that's the life of the puppeteer. And here, another puppeteer and dancer, puppet and dance interaction where the puppet anoints the legs of Malavika with alta. See, puppetry has given me happiness, puppetry has given me patience, puppetry has given me love for life, puppetry has given me wonderment. Daily I wonder, and my observation skills have skyrocketed because I can see here, there, everywhere. It's unbelievable what an investment, a truthful investment, can give a human being. And these are the different windows to those faces which have come from Dhaatu, which is my puppet theatre. Namaste.